Hey guys, what's up? So this is the video for the BlackMAgic URSA Mini G2 4.6K. It's a lot of letters, a lot of numbers, but it's a pretty good camera. So you already know how to turn it on, so let's go forward and just turn it on. Once we've done that, we want to remove the lens cap. Don't do that. Put it in a safe place. You can put this on the shelving here, or you can put it in your pocket as long as you don't accidentally take it home with you, or you can balance it somewhere like here. Can't see it, but it's balanced on the tripod somewhere. Wherever you think it's going to be safe to put it. I might come up with an actual place to put lens caps later on, and I'll let you know when I do. So I've powered on the camera. I now need to open the side, like so. So the main thing you need to be aware of is what evening you're doing and what needs to be done for that specific evening or session. For a Wednesday evening service, this is supposed to look like this. We don't need any CFast cards, any SD cards, any SSDs, because we are simply streaming. So we are not filming or recording anything. We're just streaming, which goes to the VJ's computer and straight to the internet. We must make sure that it is plugged in. We cannot rely on the battery. Now, I did show you in the previous video how to do this, but you'll see a little catch here. You just push that in all the way and this will slide out. Really simple. Done. Now this will need charging. There is a little button on the side that you can click. You can see no bars are coming up, so it means that it's fully out of charge, but this is staying on because the power is still connected. Now I usually have the power connected always, but I like to have a battery just in case it gets accidentally unplugged and it stays on, and then you have time to realize that, okay, it's unplugged, I need to plug it back in again. So for a Wednesday evening service, we actually use a completely different lens. We use this big boy. Now, this is huge and humongous, as you can clearly tell. I will add a little snippet of how to attach this later, but for the time being, let's move on to how we do Sunday mornings. Now, if you're using this camera on a Sunday morning, you're going to want to know what the framing should look like. This is a bad representation of what it should look like, but I'll show you what's good and what's bad. This is what it looks like when it's fully zoomed out. Now on a Sunday morning, it's a kids' family service, so it's only going to be Jeff and Paula, and there's going to be a lot of stuff on the screens, so actually it's going to be important that we get something in. If your job is to use this camera on a Sunday morning, you can be a little bit liberal with where you zoom in, who you zoom in on, but ideally you want to be zoomed in around about here. This is a good place to be zoomed in because you can see both sides of the banners and you can see people clearly on stage. Now you will also see some sort of red lining around all of the objects on the screen. That is the focus assist. If everything is circled in red, that means it is in focus, and that's exactly what we want. Now you will kind of notice that not everything isn't actually central. So let me show you how to move things on the tripod so you know how to get things in the perfect framing. Now there are only really two main switches / toggles that you need to worry about. One on the side here, this one, which does that, and the one on the back. So you undo it and you can move the camera from side to side. Now what I want to do is I want to get everything as equally in as possible. On the screen here you will see grids. Here, I'll move it over so you can see a little bit. You will see a grid. This is called the rule of thirds. There are 3 sections horizontally and 3 sections vertically. You will also see a crosshair in the middle. Anyone used to video games will know that that is the place that you want your subject to be in. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that the Life Church logo is as central as possible in the middle of the screen, and that we get both banners equally either side in the rule of thirds. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move this over and place the crosshairs in the middle as much as I can until I'm happy with the shot. You'll gain an eye for it, so don't worry about what you won't know what's good and all those things. You will gain an understanding of what looks good and what looks bad, and after a while you'll just get used to it. You'll now see that it is as in the middle as it possibly can be. So when we zoom in and out, it'll be as central as possible. Now, in terms of other settings on the camera, you don't really have to worry about anything. The only thing you need to know is the ISO, which is false lighting on the camera, which I can show you some diagrams now. That essentially helps you understand the lighting in the room, and that actually we want quite a low ISO so we don't get much noise, what they call noise, or also known as sort of graininess on the screen. There is also aperture, shutter speed and focal length, but you don't really have to worry about that. I will be here every single session to make sure that you are okay and ready to go when we press record or when we press stream. I have set the individual cameras for the room, so the aperture and the shutter speed and the frame rate are all the same no matter where you are at what point in the room. If, however, these settings change, then that's not a problem. There'll be a piece of paper laminated on the desk of all the settings that should be on each individual camera. So if you come to a point where it's just not working and you think a setting might be wrong, just come back to the booth and refer to the document. Thanks for watching that video, guys. The next video will be on the Pocket Camera 6K, also by BlackMAgic. So click on the next video and get learning, brother.